Collective, welcome back to You Can Handle the Truth Tarot. I am your host and reader, Casey Phoenix. Thank you for joining this reading. And again, this is for the collective. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. I am just a person sitting here reading the energy in the tarot cards. Okay, collective, let's get into this. The Mercury Retrograde was just finished at the end of July. I think it was July 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Post retrograde is usually a week or so. So maybe around August the 6th or the 7th, it should be completely out of retrograde. But usually when Mercury goes retrograde, people start thinking about things. There's a lot of introspection that happens with people because that's what it's for. It's about going back over the things that need that attention that it may not have received before. It's not necessarily good for starting new things unless it's something that is short, but expecting a long-term connection or expecting stability for something long-term that started during Mercury retrograde is not impossible. It's just harder to do so. I'm working with 3 decks here. I have my Isis Oracle deck, I have my Sword of Light Oracle deck, and then I have my Wills, Golden Wills Tarot deck. And what I'm getting is jealousy for some of you, where there are people around you that it's hard to say. It's almost like, you know how some people are naturals, where there are some people who have to work really, really hard. I'll use Destiny Child as an example. I always tell people the most naturally talented person in the Destiny Child group is Kelly. The one who worked hard to be a talent and just works really, really hard is Beyonce. It doesn't come as easy to her as it would Kelly when it comes to natural talent, but Beyonce worked really, really hard and became this huge success off of her hard work, not necessarily off of her talent. Not saying that she's not talented, she became talented through hard work, where Kelly is just naturally talented. And even people have spoke behind the scenes about that. For you, I believe you are one of those people who you're naturally talented. Things just come more easily to you. They're easier for you than they might be for the average person. And some people don't like that. Some people would prefer naturally talented people stay in the background. And I'm not implying that Beyonce wanted Kelly to stay in the background. Not at all. I'm just talking about specifically for this reading. But yeah, some people would prefer for a naturally talented person to stay in the background, because people who are naturally talented usually get attention. They're the ones that people gravitate towards when they need something that falls under that person's wheelhouse. And for you, you have a destiny. For the Isis Oracle, it says divine destiny, path of the divine warrior. There are things in your life that are meant for only you. But in order to step into that destiny, you have to walk that path and be authentically yourself. The Oracle says, stay true and be in your power. It says, Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of divine authority. Stay true and be in your power. For the explanation on this card, the title of this reading, that is where the title came from. When I'm saying you don't need anyone's permission, you don't need permission from anyone to be who you are. That's what it says in the explanation of the card. It's a lot longer than that, where it's like living in your truth and your power, so on and so forth. You've been given free will. You've been given the opportunity to accomplish your goals in this lifetime. That's what this card is saying. It's saying that you can't accomplish your goals if you are not yourself. It's almost like the old saying, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. What people don't understand is that if they're giving a different version of themselves, and don't get me wrong, people have, like, when you're around certain groups, your personality can change just a little bit, but if your core remains the same, that's good because you're still being authentic because your core remains the same. But for some people, they become a totally different person. Their core changes, their beliefs change, everything changes when they may be around a certain group of people. And what happens is that alternate person that is created around that group, they like that person. They don't know the other person. They don't know the authentic person. When it comes to walking your path in life, if you are being an imposter, if you're being someone else to people, those decisions you're making as that imposter, as that individual, it puts you on a different path that is not, I was going to say conducive, which I guess I could use that word, but it is not aligned with what your divine path is. It is an alternate path that is taking you somewhere else, which is why usually there's a problem when it comes to happiness and joy, because you're not yourself. And the decisions that you're making not being yourself puts you on a path that is not divinely aligned with you. It's not part of your divine destiny. That's why you have to be true to yourself and be in your power. The other oracle card that came out is Magic and Ritual. And this is about creating sacred moments, practices, rituals. Some people do spiritual baths and other things. I don't necessarily do all of that. Maybe on certain occasions, I'm willing to do that. But what this to me is saying is more about consistency. During the money readings in one of the oracle decks, the consistency card came out a few times. And I believe that's what this magic and ritual is about. It's not necessarily about doing anything, quote unquote, spiritual, even though you have the option. It is more about being consistent in the things that you do. For example, let's say that when you wake up in the morning, you get up at 5 a.m. You don't have to, because I wake up when I wake up. But you get up at 5 a.m. and that might be your quote unquote ritual to make sure that you're up at 5 a.m. every morning. Another ritual might be you go to the gym at 6 a.m. every morning, if that's what works for you. This is saying create habits and patterns and be consistent, doing things that work for you and help you continue to evolve and step in your power as an individual, and to expand your, not your touch, but expand your presence across the world, across the collective, where you're helping enrich people's lives and doing that, just being the divine you. The other card with the wings of Isis, that is about angelic connections. Some of you might have been praying to have a closer connection to your angel or angels. Some of you might have been praying for answers. That sort of leads into the next oracle deck. One of the cards that came out says, recognize the signs from above. Angels are sending you messages now, but you're too distracted to notice. Stay alert and open to divine guidance. Distractions is definitely something that is mentioned in this reading, because the other oracle card that came out in this deck, it says, regain your focus. Trivial life matters are distracting you from your goals. Archangel Metatron and I are here to help you stay grounded. Again, I believe this is sort of connected to a jealousy thing. It could be other things. Maybe you're distracted by video games or binge watching too many shows on Netflix or eating unhealthy foods, or, pick your poison. It could be other things. But what I'm getting is that the distraction is you're worried about how people will view you as a person. You're worried about your image. You're worried about what people might say or what they're currently saying. What this message is telling you is, don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about any of that. Focus on being the divine you. One of the other oracle cards that came out in this oracle deck says, be a light to others. And it says, you have a powerful message to share. Share your light on the world so that others can learn from you. This is saying that you have experience of the path that you have already walked, the path that you're currently walking, where you can bring awareness to other people. You can help, again, enrich people's lives with the knowledge and experience that you have, with the love that you have. For some of you, you have a love for humanity. You want to see humanity do better. You want to see people unite and get past all of the quote unquote trivial things. Those are some of the things you want. And another card that came out, it says, angels of healing are with you. And this card says, a time of healing is about to bless your life. Accept Archangel Raphael's emerald green light while I enhance your strength. Some of you may not have had a lot of energy lately. And this is saying healing is coming. And not saying that there is a huge rush, because some things, one of these cards saying, no, it is not yet time. Some things it's okay to wait for a moment and get your grounding. And once everything is truly aligned, that is when you can take action and make the move. Some of you might have been waiting on healing. I'm hearing that others of you, there's some people or a person in your family that you might have been waiting on healing for them. This card is saying that healing is coming. And right under this card, it says, your loved ones are safe. Let go of your fear and worry for your loved ones. I am looking after them. So this is saying that your loved ones are protected. Now, let's get into the clarification of this energy. The first card that came out is the Nine of Wheels, which is the Nine of Pentacles, basically. And this is pre-Empress energy. This is Earth energy, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. This is about stability. Also, the Star came out. Like I said, natural talent. You are a natural light. The Star is Aquarius energy. The Star can be about talent. It can be about visibility, but also the Star can be about healing. The Star can be about direction too. You finding the right direction, you healing yourself. That's what this Mercury retrograde was there for, to help you look at certain things that maybe it was difficult for you to look at. The result is you starting to realize that you have a light for the world. You have something that you can contribute to the collective as a whole. That is Star energy. The Two of Cups came out, which is water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Some of you might be that sign, one of those signs, or you might have it in your chart. This is about unions. And also, something just said to me, believing in each other. If you don't have a quote unquote support group, a support group is coming. You being your authentic self will attract more people to you. It will attract more genuine connections. It will attract long-lasting connections. It will also attract long-term stability. There will be new resources coming in for you, with the Ace of Pentacles showing up in the cards. Aces are new. Aces can be considered a reward for a job well done, for the work that you put in. The Ace of Pentacles that is being brought to you is just the beginning of a new foundation. There may have been a time, and you may be dealing with certain thoughts, certain words that have been said to you, that have stuck with you, that might have been hurtful. All of that will be coming to an end. The Ten of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. Swords is air energy. Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Some of you could have those signs in your chart, or some of you could be those signs. But tens are about ending something. And this is ending as long as you are true to yourself. If you continue to avoid being the divine you, the authentic self, the individual that doesn't align with your divine path, the cycle will more than likely continue. But if you accept who you are, flaws and all, and recognize that you have a contribution to give to the collective, and appreciate the gifts that you have and show gratitude, the cycle will end and you will step into a new energy. That new energy is the Empress energy. This card was a spiritual pull, meaning sometimes when I shuffle, cards call out to me. And then I pull it not knowing what it is. The Empress was the first spiritual pull before any cards landed on the table. This is the overall energy of your true self, the star and the Empress. The Empress is the star wherever the Empress goes. The Empress doesn't chase anything. Things are brought to the Empress. The Empress is authentic. The Empress is gracious. The Empress is magnetic. The Empress is confident. That is the energy that you would step into when you're being your authentic self. And in that energy, the Empress definitely does not need permission from anyone to be who they are. That is your message, collective. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I truly appreciate it. If any of this resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, be blessed.